All right. This is Bruce. If you guys didn't know, I do risk management framework. I have courses on risk management framework, how to get into cybersecurity, and lots of other things on the way. And I'm hard at work with some other new courses that should be coming out really soon. I got some on how to dating site scams. I've got a couple for that. I've got some on CAP, ISC squared. I've got some for cyber. I would like to do some for cyber threat analysis, and then some for ethical hacking. There's a whole bunch that I'm gonna do for NIST 800, possibly one for PCI. I got some friends that hopefully will join me and put out some more. So what you're looking at is the beginning stages of courses. I got a lot more stuff planned, but it's just going to take me a while to develop all this stuff that's coming out. This is going to be free stuff. So if you sign up for free right now, every now and then I'll put out free stuff. Sometimes I'll give like crazy discounts. And I also help people individually. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep that up. But before I start, I just want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is all the crazy stuff going on right now. You got China and India that are battling for ground. You got a pandemic going on. You got marches and protests in every major city in the U.S. You've got crazy leadership here, or lack of leadership here in the U.S. You've got just so many things happening all at once in the news, and I don't know what to say. All I can say is I hope you guys are doing good. If you're watching this, hope you're doing okay, taking care of your family, and I'm doing okay. My family's doing okay, so we're good. What I'm going to do today is open topics completely. This is going to be a short one, open topics, because I've been really hard at work doing courses, so I don't have anything for today really. So I'm going to answer some questions that are and if you have any questions, if you happen to jump on, have any questions, anything at all, I'll do my best to try to answer it. But while you're cooking up questions, I'm going to go through some of these. What I'm looking at here is my YouTube channel. It's the back end of my YouTube channel where people ask questions and stuff. If you've asked me a question on the actual course, I will get to it. I spend a little bit more time on those. Those are a little bit more in detail and more deep. And sometimes I actually make videos out of the questions that you make from there. So just hold tight. I promise you I'm going to get your resumes back to you. So I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do on the back end of the actual course site. But right now we're just going to kind of zip through the YouTube questions and any questions that you guys have. Kiko Rose, how you doing? Okay, Froggy Leg says is responding to a video I did about romance scams, saying I keep the people who don't protect their pictures responsible too. I don't understand that statement. Spades 93 says this is perfect for me. Thank you so much, Bruce. Oh man, glad to help. Millie Tant says I don't understand the thumbs down vote. You offer help. Shaking my head. Oh, this is for the one I just released today for the remote telework in Canada. That's a good video, by the way. You should check that one out, especially if you're looking for remote work, any kind of remote work anywhere. I walk you through the basics of what I do. If you want an in-depth breakdown of everything you need to do for a remote job, finding a remote job, keeping a remote job, how I've been able to work remotely for the last 5 years straight. I can't get my numbers straight, but since 2014 I've been working solid. It was 2014? Like 2015. I don't know. It's been like 5 years. But before that, I had jobs too that was remote. If you're interested in that and going super deep in it, and I actually help you directly, then go to this course right here, Find IT Remote Work. I add to it every now and then and keep you updated on like my searches for jobs or anything I find new on the job markets. But it's right here, this red one right here. This is the one you want to go to right here if you're interested. But yeah, but if you want free stuff, you can't afford it right now. I understand, like, budget's tight. I got free stuff, the basics of how to get into IT, and that's this one right here, the one I just released this morning about how to get a remote job. Tells you the basics of what you need if you're serious about it. So let me see, what else do we got going on? Please keep doing these videos, very helpful. Good to know. Good to know. I'm glad people are getting something out of these videos I'm doing. That's what keeps me doing them. Somebody said thank you. Somebody else said thank you about the ring.com stuff. Okay, this is a good one. So this is a video, somebody's responding to a video I did a few years ago about the SSCP, the Security Plus, and then I also mentioned degrees up to a master's degree. And I said something to the effect of that I think, if I remember, I haven't watched the video in a long time, so I don't remember what I said. But I think I said something like, experience is better than a degree, and a degree is better than certifications. And what a degree gives you is, it shows employers that you're disciplined. But in and of itself, I've met a lot of people with the master's degrees that weren't the most skilled people in the world. I said something to that effect. I wasn't trying to disrespect people with a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. I was just telling my experience with people with degrees. It's not you would think that people have a degree, they have a gigantic brain and they're going around cracking codes and stuff, and that's just not, it's just a piece of paper. But it does give you discipline and stuff. It shows that you have work ethic. And I think you can get skills from it, so maybe I might have misspoke. Anyway, so Joseph Jefferson says, okay, good explanation until your last critique of master's degrees. A master's degree does not determine your intelligence from a worldly perspective. However, it does determine your intelligence in a specific area. If you do not pass the thesis defense, for example, or you are not prepared to orally explain a project and defend it, you don't get that master's degree. As far as information technology and systems is concerned, topics in depth such as risk and project management are mandatory and are not as in-depth as one certification. Finally, as you correctly stated, the discipline of a master's degree is harder than taking just one certification exam. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I guess it depends on the degree you're getting, depends on how much you apply yourself. There's a lot of factors. It's just that I guess when I first went into IT, I always thought that when I would meet a person with a master's degree, they'd be like on a pedestal, In my mind, they were like this, from their head, a halo around them. But, there's nothing really special. Like, it's just like, honestly, you had people with master's degrees approaching me, asking me questions about basic stuff I thought they should have known in IT. So, I just have a bachelor's degree. So, it's just not what I thought it was. But yeah, I wouldn't disagree with what Joseph said here about a master's degree. Should you get a master's degree? Yeah, a master's degree is great on your resume. Like, there's not too many things that are going to be above that. I think you can do well with a bachelor's degree. Personally, you can get six figures with a bachelor's degree in IT. It just depends on what skill set, how deep you go in what area, and things like that. But if you want to know more about that, about what to go into, how to make up to six figures, what degrees to get, how to do it, then I have this one right here is a really good course for how to get to six figures in cybersecurity in particular, but I also kind of mention different IT jobs that also can get you six figures, and you don't necessarily have to have a master's degree. In fact, a bachelor's degree is optimal, because once you get to the master's degree, you're battling people who are up in like the upper 1%, But I don't want to speak ill of a master's degree. I think they're great. Maybe one day I'll get one. I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it. But I'm not trying to talk crap about master's degrees. But should you get one? Yes. Do you? All right. So let me see what else I got here. Kiko Rose says, I did all your free courses. That's great. That's great. Hope you liked it. Allison Rogers says, thank you. This helped me to unpair the old network. Oh, that's from the old ring.com video I did. That went viral almost. It's got like 150,000 views on it. It's pretty cool. I don't know how. I have no idea how that video is doing so well. Somebody said, hello, sir. Yadev says, hello, sir. I want to start my career in network security, but I'm from degree background b.com computers. I'm not sure what this means, Yadev. Can I get opportunities with my degree background? Can you clear this doubt up for me? Dev, if you're watching this, I'd have to know more about your background. I don't understand like what kind of degree you have. I don't understand what kind of experience you have. But you said you have career in I want to start in network security. Okay, but I have a degree in Yeah, I have to know more about like where you're at. And then we could go from there. But I've talked to people with experience in like administrative, or people with experience in some help desk stuff, and people in the healthcare industry, and people from the banking industry. And I normally tell them like to get some basic computer skills, because experience really is the name of the game in IT. You can get certifications. You can get a Security Plus. You can get an A+ certification, and all that kind of stuff. And you can get a degree and everything. But ultimately, like, experience is what really what they're looking for. Experience means a lot. So, Yadav, if you ever watch this, I would say, if you send me your resume or something, or maybe just sign on to my courses, contact me over there, and then maybe I could take a look at your skills. We could talk back and forth, and I can kind of guide you in the right direction. But if you catch this, you can't catch me or whatever, I've got courses that kind of get you into it. The course that I have that's free, by the way, of where to look and how to start is Cybersecurity Entry-Level IT. Free for a limited time. I might actually put a price back on that one. So this one right here, due to COVID-19, I put it as free because I want people to get into this field. And I know people are struggling with money and stuff like that. So there you go. Hope that helps. Okay. Thumbs up on that one. And somebody's got a question. Okay, let me see. Somebody chatted to me. Want to ask about obtaining a security clearance. And just got my Security Plus, and I have 2 years help desk experience plus a bachelor's degree, and would like to move to DC to work cyber, but so many clearance prereqs. Any tips or course? Okay, yeah, I have some tips. I don't. If you want a course on it, I'm gonna tell you something you probably won't need this course. But if you want to go deep on it, this one right here is what I would recommend. This one right here, resume marketing for cybersecurity. I'm most proud of this one right here because this one helped me get jobs nonstop. This right here, how to market myself. This can help anyone. So this one breaks down the tips and tricks that I have used to continuously get me employment and get me upwards of 6 figures. And then if you want to go deeper, it depends on how much you know and how much skills you have and stuff like that. But it sounds like you have a bachelor's degree and stuff. This would be like your next step. I would probably get a combination of these two, but this one probably would be best for. But I can give you some information right now. So you said want to ask about obtaining a security clearance. Okay, I'll tell you what I know and my experience with it. And you just got your Security Plus. That's awesome. You have 2 years of help desk experience. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the right path. And you have a bachelor's degree. That's awesome. You're ready. I think you're ready to crack that door open. So yeah, you're on track. Okay, security clearance though. Security clearance gives you an upper echelon, like it gives you more money. However, one thing I would tell you about is that the security clearance requires you to be eligible to get a security clearance. Okay, if we're talking about secret clearance or TS clearance in the U.S., then you need to be eligible, which means you need to be a U.S. citizen, number one. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can get a clearance, and I would recommend you go to a site called usajobs.com. I think has a lot of clearance jobs. Another one is dice.com. I hope you got a pen ready. usajobs.com has a bunch of federal jobs in DC. DC has the most jobs, by the way. That whole area, DC, VA, you will not have a problem getting a job there, unless you can't get a clearance. Like if you can't get a clearance, but you already have a security plus a bachelor's degree and you got 2 year experience, so you can find a job. I'm not saying you can't get a job. That is solid. You got a good solid beginning foundation, right? You checked a lot of boxes there. That clearance one, no. Puts you in another bracket, if you know what I mean. Yes. So, like I was saying, the main prerequisite for that clearance is to have is to be an American citizen. If you are not an American citizen, however, you can get another clearance called a public trust clearance, and some jobs require you to have a public trust clearance. Getting into cybersecurity for you, though, even without the clearance, without your public trust, without your TS, SCI, whatever clearances, you can still get a job in DC and VA. And like I said, this course right here breaks down exactly the skills that I used and the stuff that I've used to this day get job offers. Now, it's a little bit slow right now due to COVID-19. I'm not getting this. I used to get like something like 3 or 4 different job opportunities per day. Sometimes like a floodgate, I can't even handle them all. I'm getting calls. People are emailing me on 2 different email accounts. I'm getting messages on LinkedIn. I'm getting it's just a flood of stuff. But right now it's kind of simmered down. I still get calls. I still get emails, just not as many. So I hope that helps you. And good luck to you. Good luck. You're really on the right track. I'm super happy that you have all those things, because you'd be surprised how many people don't. And they're asking me how they can get into cybersecurity. The thing is, you have to have exactly what you have to get into it. You have it. So that's great. Now, you should know that there's a lot of different aspects of cybersecurity. It's not a monolith. It's a category. It's a category with many different subcategories. You've got, just to give you a couple, risk management framework, which is what I do, right? Which is like documentation, making sure that the organization have a security policy, making sure that the people in the organization are doing the security policy, making sure that systems have security controls. That's one. You got firewall administrator, right, which administers firewalls. You've got, and then in the firewall genre, the subcategory, you've got Palo Alto firewalls, you got Cisco firewalls, you got ASA firewalls, you got all these different firewalls and stuff. So another subcategory would be forensics. Another one would be cybersecurity risk analyst. Another one would be cybersecurity analyst. I would say just get in anywhere you can get that focuses on security. Anything right now, just to start gathering the experience, right? And you can do it. If you're trying to move to VA, you are checking every box here, man. I'm telling you. Okay. Anyway, let's move on here. And if you buy that course, by the way, before I move on, if you buy that course, I will help you one-on-one. One of the limited time offer. Once this gets bigger, and if somebody's watching this 3 years from now, I don't know how many people that will be on my site, so I can't promise you that I can do this 3 years from now. But right now, I don't have that many people on there, so I can help people individually. All right, I got a couple people asking questions. Excuse me. Chop says, "How did you have your conversation with your employer to work remotely internationally? Good question. So here's the thing, Chop. As you probably already know, like a lot of jobs don't allow you to work remotely in certain countries. And normally what you do is you talk to your HR department. You talk to, of course, your supervisor and let them know what's going on. And you talk to your HR department. And sometimes they'll be like, nope, you can't go to this country. You can't take our computer to this or that country. You can't go internationally to this or that country. In the case of my last employer, they didn't really have a policy on where I could work from. So to answer your question, and you don't do this at home, kids. I just went and started working. But no, you don't want to do that with you don't want to do that. That's not best practice. What you do is you talk to your supervisor, your manager, you talk to HR, and then I don't think they would have denied it. I mean, there were lists because I looked through their policy, and I looked through where you can go because there were certain countries they won't allow you to go. And this is a video I should do one of these days. It's called Import-Export policy, where the U.S. government, if you work for a federal agency or state agency, whatever, federal government or state government, you're actually by law not allowed to go to take certain information to certain countries. And what I mean to say is like, if I give you an example, like you're not allowed to go to, say, obviously Iran and go work with your laptop that's a DoD laptop. You know what I mean? You just can't do that. There's literal laws. You can like go to jail for doing that. I should really make a video about international import-export laws because that's a really important thing to know. You can't go just everywhere with it. But if it's an ally, if you're going to a country that's an ally, then there's no problem. So I hope that answers your question, Chop. Import-export is the policy I read. I read through it and I'm like, okay, there's no policy against me working here or there. You know, in the current place I'm working, or I have worked at jobs that said you cannot leave the state with your computer. You must be in your office at this such and such a time, and this laptop and this information is not allowed to go nowhere but in this state or this country or whatever. The place I worked at last time didn't have that because they had remote locations all over the world. So my main concern was, would it work over there? And I was in the Philippines and I was in Thailand. I just wanted to know if it would work, and it did. So hope that answers your question. T Arnold says, what is the best way to get a remote management job in this climate? T Arnold, I know I've talked to a couple people who have gotten jobs. There's still jobs going on. There was a freeze like in the height of COVID. Like we're really still in the middle of it. I mean, the numbers are still like not flatline. You know what I mean? It's not good right now. So a lot of organizations are still kind of in a hiring freeze. But that said, I know a couple people who got jobs during the hiring freeze. So, and I'm still getting calls and stuff. So the best way to get jobs in this climate, remote risk management jobs, is to do this method that I put in here. This method right here in this course right here, this red one right here. This one right here talks about how I find remote jobs. I update it every now and then. I'll put a new video out if I find out something new, put new stuff out there. And as a matter of fact, I need to update it real soon. But to answer your question, without you buying anything, how do you do it? Go to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn, this is just one trick, by the way. Go to LinkedIn and then look for remote jobs. Type in the job title, remote. You can also do it on Google. And the one I just released today, as a matter of fact, if you go to the main page of my YouTube channel, I just released a video that talked about this like weeks ago. And I walk people through how to get a remote job. So go check that one out using Google. and that's for risk management, and or you can do it for cybersecurity analyst or cyber, or whatever job you want remotely. Just go check out that video and I'll walk you through it. My cat. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Okay. Hope that answers the question. Arnold. Chuck Glenn says, does having a degree in interdisciplinary studies in concentrations like information assurance, criminal justice, and education, and CompTIA Security Plus make you marketable in cybersecurity? Yes. Yes, it does. So you have a very similar, like I have criminal justice, I've got information assurance, and Security Plus, and I've taught before. So I have all those things, and those have helped me. And here's how. So I'll get into a position. For example, right now, I recently got a job. I've been in this job for about 8 months now. About eight months, yeah. And just so happens I have to do, I do information security, which is information assurance. So that helps out. So they see that on my resume, like, okay, this is good. Okay, this guy's got risk management framework experience. Great. Okay. He's got cybersecurity analyst information experience. Okay, that's good. And then when I did the interview, they asked me, would you be comfortable doing physical security checks? And I said, yes, because I have a background in physical security. So I started listing out all the stuff I've done with physical security, and happen to have a criminal justice degree from when I was in the military. So yeah, to answer your question, interdisciplinary studies, that's why so many vets are able to get jobs, because a lot of times we have, especially if you're able to market yourself, which I talk about and spill the beans in this course right here. This one right here. No, not this one. That's not the right one. This one right here. Resume marketing for cybersecurity IT. I talk about all the tricks that I've learned over the years. Everything I do. It's surprisingly simple breakdown of what I do, and it really works, man. It really works. But if you don't have the cash for it, I understand. You can go through my videos on Convocourses on YouTube, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about, not all of it, but a lot of it is free. So just go and search through, and I break it down. But what can I tell you right now about it? About interdisciplinary and how to find those jobs is you got to market yourself. You take all your skills that you have and you put it in a format that the technical recruiters are looking for. If you want an example of what that looks like, go to linkedin.com. Check out somebody else's resume who comes up as number one. Check them out. Look at how they word it. Look at their keywords, how they word it, and then copy, not word for word, obviously. Copy the tone and the word usage. You of course using your own personal experience. That's what I would recommend to you. Hope that answered your question, Chuck. Okay, moving on to the next one. Irion. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm terrible at reading, as you could probably see. Beat you to it. Just picked it up and we'll jump on it this week. Thanks. And yes, I am a U.S. citizen. Awesome, man. If you bought that thing, man, just contact me anytime and we'll talk. And now keep in mind, I do have a full-time job, which benefits you guys because I'm telling you guys stuff. I'm an industry guy. I'm in the industry right now. And so I can help you from a person who's actually doing cybersecurity right now for a gigantic company, by the way. Let me see. Joseph, your for some reason your message got retracted. T. Arnold, yours got retracted too. How many years of experience do you need to have a remote job? Right now, a lot of jobs are remote because COVID-19. So they're literally, what you're witnessing, what we're witnessing right now is a change in fundamental behavior where more companies are getting themselves prepped to do more teleworking and be able to switch just like that whenever something like this happens again, to switch to teleworking. And luckily, all of us are in IT in some way, shape, or form. So we have the benefit of being able to work from home. And unfortunately, some people can't. If you do construction or if you do civil engineering or something, or you have to be in an office, or you're a nurse or something like that, they can't always work from home, but we can. Like a lot of our job can be done from home. Like, so that is awesome about IT. And how much experience do you need? You know, it really depends on the job, I would say. But I would, on average, for what I do, risk management framework and cybersecurity analyst work, they're looking like for a solid 3 or 4 years of experience, right? But it really depends on the job. Like sometimes they're looking for a junior, junior level positions where you only need like 1 year of experience. Like this dude right here who has 2 years of experience. He's got security plus. He's got a bachelor's degree. This dude right here, he can get a remote job easy. So, and that's 2 years experience, but yeah, I would say on average about 2-3 years of experience. But like I said, it just depends. I do know some people who are remote, but they have to travel from site to site because they're a field tech. Field tech don't usually need that much experience. They work from home, but they have to travel to locations. So, and sometimes they can work remotely to fix a location remotely. But I hope that answers your question. It's not kind of a non-answer question there. It depends. That's the answer to that question. And what I could do, let me see if I could show you something. Let me see if I could display what I'm talking about here. Let's just do here's what I'll do. Here's what we'll do. Jobs, cybersecurity. Watch this. Okay, all I did was I clicked jobs in Google. Google has this feature. I showed this last week, and then that video just released. Somebody asked me a similar question. So it's looking at.
I didn't understand.
It's looking in your location, right? And then let's just go right into this. Let's go to jobs. So here's some jobs right here, right? And you can follow along with me. I just went to Google, typed in job, cybersecurity, whatever, just job, and then whatever work you do. It could be help desk, it could be risk management framework, it could be cybersecurity analyst, it could be forensics, whatever. But just put job, and then you search that, and it comes up with this search feature that Google has. Then what we do is, can you guys see this? Let me see. Can't really see this. It's kind of above. Anyway, you don't need that. You just need to see this right here. Now what you do, what I'm looking for is employers and then who are doing remote work. So now what we do is we go to location and we look for, which one is it? Not anywhere. What the hell is it? Oh, work from home. See this little button right here? Work from home. Now here's a bunch of jobs with cybersecurity, and it's going to tell us how many years of experience that they're looking for. This job right here is with ADDX Corporation, work from anywhere, and this is a remote job, and they're saying they want 3 to 6 years of experience doing cybersecurity work. They explain kind of what the job consists of right here. It's dev security ops, which I don't know nothing about. Security, a cybersecurity analyst with Siemens. And this is work from home. Let's see if we can see experience. They're not saying experience. I would contact them. They're not. This was 5 days ago though, so that's work from anywhere. Let's look at this one. I'm just trying to see like what kind of experience, and this one also doesn't have experience. Sometimes like these jobs that they're not mentioning experience, it could be that they just want you to be able to do the job. If you can do the job, maybe they don't even ask you about that. Let's go to this next one. Cybersecurity engineering, 100% remote, or Charlotte, North Carolina or South Carolina. I don't know which. I can't remember which one. I'm looking for to see if they will tell us Seeing if they'll tell us how many. They're not saying how many years of experience. That's odd. Duration 12 months, but no experience. Could be a good thing. I mean, they're not saying experience, so maybe they just want you to be able to do the job. They normally tell you work from home. All right, yeah, I would contact them. If you're following along with me, I would contact them. These look like some pretty decent jobs. But what you do is, like I said, I stand by what I said before. It depends on the job. It really depends. Some of them, like I've been at places where people, they weren't expecting you to have a lot of experience. They just want you to know how to do it. Right? I met dudes who didn't have a degree, didn't have no certifications, and they just were brilliant. They just could walk in and just do the job. They had experience. They had 1-2 years of experience in the military, or maybe 4 or 5 years experience. They know how to do the job. They didn't have a degree and have nothing. And these guys are my mentors, by the way. I really looked up to them. They really taught me a lot about how to think through problems technically. I really wish I can get those guys to teach some stuff. But such is life. Okay. Joseph says, I have a DBA background and want to get into the security field. Just obtained my CompTIA Security Plus last month. Any guidelines? Okay. Joseph, that's awesome. A DBA is really good to have. DBA is I wonder why DBA would want to go into security, because DBAs can make a lot of money in that field. Maybe you just don't feel like doing it no more, or you want to expand your skill set. That's cool. How do you get into security? So I met another guy who was a DBA, and he sent me his resume, and he's like, Bruce, I really want to get into security, and he was obsessed. He was like super into it, and him and I talked for a bit, and he sent me his resume. And the thing is, if you're a DBA, you've done security before. So what you want to do, here's my guidance to you if you're a DBA trying to get into cybersecurity, like this other gentleman was. What you do is you go through your resume and you highlight all of the security things that you've done. What do I mean by that? So highlight, I don't mean like put a highlight, make it in yellow. I mean like put it on the top. Emphasize all your security experience in the resume. So if you've done things like updated software to a more secure version, put that in there. That's a security type thing you've done before. If you have examined mobile code such as JavaScript and you had to update the JavaScript or clients in order to receive information from the database, that could be experience with vulnerability management. If a system has vulnerabilities such as a database and you had to update that's vulnerability management. If you've ever had to add accounts for the DBA and then made it so that they have a complex password, that's a security feature, and that's something that you can put on your resume. That's something you should put on there. You just have to know how to word it. That's all it is. And then if you've ever put any kind of, I don't know, what else do you do with DBAs stuff. If you have had to do any kind of documentation to people to do simple tasks in the DBA, if you've done security awareness training for the DBA, like as a DBA, I imagine you had to create the accounts and you had to train the people who have the accounts, and you had to tell them, okay, here's some security features. That's security awareness training. That's something you can put on your resume. What else? If you've ever migrated from one DBA database to another database, that's a real good skill to have. And then you also have to put security controls in place. If you've ever put security controls in place in that database or on a system that has to house the database, that is also security experience. Those are all security experiences that you should put in your resume. And then also you put your Security Plus, so that enhances everything you already have. Plus your actual raw database experience. All that stuff is really solid It's gonna make you look really good. And the thing is, you already look really good. Like, the only thing you're missing is probably the role of a cybersecurity person. But there's ways around that in your resume without lying. So what you want to do is put all those security things that you've done, all the security best practices you've implemented on any kind of database, anytime you've made an account and then made a complex password to where it forces people to not use the same password over and over again. All those things are security things that you want to put on your resume. So I hope that helps, Joseph. Okay, let's see what else we got. T. Arnold says, do you have a resume format for sale or free? And that has to be proven. That has been proven that recruiters have liked and get you contacted. So it's funny. Let's talk about resume formats, Arnold. So it's funny. My daughter has this career building class, and she said, I helped her with a resume, and her teacher saw my resume and she said, this is garbage, this is crap, this is trash, right? And I said, really? And I'm like, that resume has gotten me back-to-back six-figure jobs. So it's not about the format. That's the thing. And so this teacher is not in my field. Maybe if you are a artist, you want to have a pretty resume, right? The format will matter. But in our field, in IT and cybersecurity, the only thing that matters is they can read it. If it's just jumbled and all over the place with misspellings and grammar and bad and you misspelled everything, no, that's not good. Different font sizes and stuff. It just needs to look clean, right? It doesn't have to look special. To answer your question, I do not have a format that I sell to people. I would recommend you just go ahead and use the free Google. You can go to Google Docs, and then you go to format, templates. You go to templates on Google Docs, and they have templates of resumes you can use. You put all your stuff in there. Format don't matter. What really matters is the content you put in the resume. So to answer your question, yes, I have a proven resume that works every time. The format is irrelevant. Doesn't look that good. Doesn't look pretty. It's very plain. But if you're interested in learning more about that, you can either go to my YouTube channel, go to the main page and search resumes. And I got some stuff on there that walks you through some of the stuff I talk about. But if you want an in-depth, deep dive in it, go to this one right here. This is I'm most proud of this one. I'm surprised it doesn't get more attention, to be honest with you. The one that people really like and buy back to back is this one right here. But my favorite, the one that continues to pay me is this one right here. Because this little technique that I use, it works. So yeah. So if you got the money to do it, I would recommend this. I'll also help you if you pay for it. If you need it free because these are hard times, just go through my YouTube channel and then check on the techniques. I put a lot of it there, not all of it, but there's a lot of it that's there that breaks it down on how the method that I use to get jobs. So I hope that helps you out. Chuck Glenn says, how many programming languages should one know to be effective in cybersecurity? Depends on what branch and category of cybersecurity you do. Cybersecurity is huge. It's a category with many different subcategories. So, for example, if you're in forensics, you don't really have to know programming for forensics. Maybe some scripting. Maybe. All the forensics guys I knew had some scripting skills. They knew like a little Perl. They knew like maybe some PowerShell, stuff like that. So forensics, maybe a little scripting. You don't have to necessarily know programming. The more you know, the better, but you don't have to know it. You just don't have to. Programming is a whole different branch. If you're doing security on the code, on source code, you have to know some programming because you're looking at source. You got to know what you're looking at. So I know people who actually were source coders, and they would have to either use a special program or just eyeball all the code to make sure that there's no errors in it. In my job, the job that I've been doing for 20 years, risk management framework, I don't have to know any programming. I know the system development lifecycle. I know the software development lifecycle. I don't even know if that's the name of it, but it has a life cycle. I know what you're supposed to do with software, but I don't know coding. I mean, I've learned coding on my own for fun. Like I've developed an app that I learned off of YouTube. I learned how to develop apps using what was it? iOS Swift. I used Swift, but that was on my own time for fun, right? For fun and profit. But no, I haven't had. I don't know how to code at all. I know command. I know how to mess around with command line. I don't know, and even that is pretty basic. I just know basic things. So to answer your question, it depends on the category, the subcategory of security, of cybersecurity, and it depends on what you're doing, what your role is. Because I have had jobs. Well, I haven't personally had jobs, but I've seen jobs where you do need to know some code, some coding, like Java or security, C++ or whatever, or C# or whatever it's called now. Let me see. JavaScript, Python are things on my list to drive in. Yeah. Python is awesome. I really like it. Yeah, JavaScript is one of the ones I had to learn to write that program. But that, like I said, that was for fun. That wasn't for my job. Let me see. Thank you for the tip. Very helpful. You're welcome. SS says, I think this is going to be my last question. SS says, Bruce, I purchased both the ISO and security controls training. Great information. I'm about to start a new job as an ISO. Any tips on starting the new job? I have been an ISO for 2 years. Thank you. Tips. Tips for a new guy going into an ISO position. I would say the main tip is keep calm and don't panic. Make sure that you don't take everything on yours. This is real. This is real. This is something that I learned over the years. Don't try to take everything on. This is what burns a lot of security guys out, and this is why a lot of people hate our guts, because a lot of security guys get in and they want to be cops. They want to be like the police, busting down doors and saying you can't do that, or it's supposed to be done like this. You got to remember, like, it's a team. Like, if you're an ISO, you're part of a team. You're one cog in the grand scheme of things as a part of the team, right? So you have you're going to have a user representative, right? They have different names for it, but it's like an information owner, that's going to guide you through the policies and what users expect, what end users expect from your system. You've got your system engineers, you got your system administrators, you got your senior leadership. All you guys are together to make this thing happen. So just realize, like, put yourself in context. You're doing one piece of this project. It's kind of like when you build a house. Like, when you build a house, you got somebody who does carpet, you got somebody who does electric, you got somebody who does drywall, somebody who does a roof. Very rarely does somebody do everything, right? You don't have to. The person who does drywall doesn't necessarily know how to build a roof, make a roof, or know how to do electricity or plumbing, right? You're the plumber. Just be the plumber. And if you have questions about the electricity, talk to an electrician. Like, that's their wheelhouse. So that would be my advice to you as a new ISO is don't try to take everything on. Don't try to be responsible for everything. The risk is supposed to be distributed, and the main person who takes the risk for the system is actually the authority, the authorizing official, the head of agency, the CIO or whoever, the DAA. The person at the top has to sign for the risk. You're there to help the organization manage the risk. That's it. Don't try to take everything on. And one of the coolest things, like one of the best reactions I get is that when I tell them, hey, I'm here for you guys. I'm part of the team, right? That's the vibe I give off. And that's exactly how I feel. And I'm not one of those guys that comes in and is like, okay, you guys are doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. No. I'm part of the team. Let's fix this together. This is our problem. We are, as a team, are going to fix this issue. That's how I feel about it. So that's the attitude you should go in with as an ISO, and people are going to love you. Let me see. I got a couple other questions. SS says, thanks, Bruce. Keep up the good work. As always, good information. You always give it. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Marianne C says, hi, Bruce. Do you do interview prep? What is that? Do you mean like I interview you, or like a test interview that I do on you? Or do I prepare for interviews? Like, do I give me more information, Marianne C. Sean Langston says, right. I'm the same way. Yeah, man, that's the way I approach the problem. That's the way I approach it. This is a team effort, and that's like takes so much load. When I first started doing risk management, and when I started doing it, it was called DITSCAP. That's how long ago. we were using the rainbow series of books. That should tell you how old I am. So when I first started doing it, I would get stressed out because I would take on all the responsibility. I didn't understand that it's a team effort. You need multiple people to do the job. And another thing I would do is I try to fill everything out myself. Thing is, I may know something about the auditing feature on this Windows 10 or this Windows 2016 server, but the system administrator knows it better than me. I may know something about it, but the system administrator looks at it every day. So the best thing I can do is go to the system administrator and say, excuse me, sir, ma'am, like, this is what I have for the auditing feature, and I've written, here it is right here. Is this accurate? Right? And 9 times out of 10, they'll correct it. It'll take a couple minutes. No, see, what we do here is we use Splunk. The auditing goes to Splunk, and then it goes to the security ops team or whatever. So rely on the team. Don't try to take on all tasks. That's what I used to do when I just started. Don't just make stuff up. Just go and talk to the actual individuals who actually manage those things. And just, it's a team, Okay, let me see. Marianne C says, like, can you help me with an interview and I will pay you? Marianne C, here's my contact information on that. Let's see what we can do. There's my contact information. That's my email right there, that bottom one. Contact me. Tell me what you want. Very specific, like what you want, what job you're going for, what you're doing, and we'll talk. That sounds like fun, mock interview. I'm reading for a CISM exam. Oh, that's cool. CISM. That's a good certification. I thought about taking either CRISC or CISA because that's a real good one for financial industry. Right? Am I right or wrong? Seems like it is. Seems like that's the one they're always looking for. Thanks for your help. Appreciate you guys. Okay, guys. Hey, I gotta hit the road. This is a short one today, but thanks for all your questions. Appreciate everybody, and I wanted to give a special big thank you to everybody who's bought a course. Man, I really appreciate it. You guys have helped a Black-owned business, so you should feel proud of yourself. I appreciate everybody. No, seriously, thanks for everything. Thanks for your great questions. And I'll definitely be getting back to everybody who has asked me questions on the site. And I will see you guys next week. Appreciate everybody. Stay safe out there. Take COVID-19 seriously. And hopefully we'll get through this together, guys.